Hi dreamers, James here on behalf of Apologue. And a few years ago, I thought personal development and the whole space of self-help was a whole load of crap. Let me tell you a little story. So I was in my first year in university, little Malaysian boy who flew all the way to Canada with no family and no friends. And as you can imagine, everything was fresh and new for me. But being in Canada and being by myself in university, I felt this huge burden on my shoulders, especially when it comes to money. Now with the conversion rate being like 3 times from the Malaysian ringgit to the Canadian dollar, I would find myself converting every single thing. I would be having breakfast and be like, damn, the amount of money I'm spending on this bowl of cereal could buy me like a 3-course meal back home. Things start to snowball and I start to starve myself. I actually lost about 5 to 6 kilograms in a month, or #diet plan. I would find myself thinking about my parents and my family back home who spent so much of their money to send me all the way here to university. I was always think about the struggle and I was so eager to make money. This made me extremely vulnerable. So one day I met this dude let's name him Joe. Right? Joe was a well-spoken man. He had a nice suit on when I met him. And we sparked a conversation, right? And when I asked him what he did, he said that he developed leaders and he helps people become financially free. Right? Develop leaders, financially free. I was hooked, right? And over the next 2 months, I would find myself commuting an hour and a half to meet this guy every single weekend to go through what he called personal growth, personal development. And get this, right? After 2 months, I still had no idea what this guy did for a living. And one of the first few things he made me do was to list down my biggest values and the things that I found important to me. And over time, things start to get a little shady, right? He would tell me things like, hey, don't tell your family, don't tell your parents that we're doing this, right? Because they might distract you from what we're trying to do. They might distract you from helping you grow. They're distracting you from your true personal development. And finally, I found out what it was. It was a pyramid scheme, right? MLMs, multi-level marketing. If you don't know what a pyramid scheme is, it's when people recruit other people to sell certain products, and when they sell those products, I get a cut. And when those people recruit more people to sell more products, then they get a cut. And if they get a cut, then I get a cut. Now, this is not that bad, right? It's just business. But what pisses me off is that 90% of these MLM companies, they'll use your biggest values and what you find important to you, and they'll use it against you. Now, remember when I met Joe, the first thing that we did was to write down what I valued the most and what was important to me. Because when I tried to leave and when I tried to escape this whole thing, Joe would say things like, hey, don't you want to repay your parents? Don't you want to help your poor parents retire? Don't you feel bad for spending so much money being an international student here in Canada? Why don't you make some money, right? Things like that. But eventually I managed to escape. But this whole experience really ruined the idea of mentorship and personal development for me. And for the longest time, I thought this whole personal growth space and this whole personal development space was just bullshit. But I met another mentor a few years later, now that I'm older and wiser. And when you meet the right mentor and coach, paired with that burning passion that's inside of you, man, great things will happen. And since then, I've been getting headhunted for jobs, and I can honestly say that I'm moving a step closer towards my purpose in life every single day. So if you have experienced something similar, whether it's MLMs or pyramid schemes or mentorship experience, good or bad, I would love to hear about it below. So leave your comments, and I hope you don't lose faith in the space of personal development. Once again, my name is James Lau. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.